Hello guys, welcome back, and in this lesson let us consider how to format your responses with a relationship. And for this case I'm going to assume that user has many products and a product belongs to a user. So in real world case or in real world scenario, you might have a user who has many orders and then a particular order has many product. But for this case, let us just assume that a user has many product and vice versa, a product belongs to a user. So I'll go inside the model for the user, and inside here I'll just add a relationship and say public function, let's say products like this, and here I'm going to return I believe this has many relationship, as many. Here I'm going to say product, I'm going to call class like this, and we are good. So that is fine. And then for the controller, let us just create a controller for a user. So say PHP artisan make controller, going to say user controller. And so we have our controller here. So what I'm going to do is that inside the user controller, I'll just copy this. Let us duplicate this product controller until down here. I'm going to copy everything here because it's just going to do the same. I'll paste here. Okay, for now, I'll just say like this. So instead, here, of course, we'll use user resource. So I'll also create a resource for that case. I'll say user, it should be resource like this. This should be make resource like this. So of course we have a user resource here. So here what I'll do is that instead I'll return this should be user resource, and inside here we'll use user like this. And so let us this model in this case will be user, import this. Then right here I'm going to validate. If you go to the users model, you have the name, the email, and the password. So if I go back here, we have the name and the email. We can validate this later, but for now let us just do this quite. And then you see here the user, create, name, email, password very fast here, name, email, and this is password like this. On the next lesson, I'll be able to take you through the validation and best way to handle, to handle errors. But for now, let us just make this quite fast. User, return user here, and this should be user resource. And then, of course, here in update, I'm going to let us just duplicate this, and then I'll go down here, paste this here, and then of course here we'll have user update, and then this should be user, and lastly we need to have user here. We need to have user here, and here we are going to delete user. This should be user. All right, so we have our guy here. This is user, and this should be user resource. So our controller is done for the user. Quite simple, quite straightforward. The user returns user resource. Here we also need to change, of course, this to be user resource. So now for the user resource, if I go inside the user resource here, user resource, I'm going to return array here. I'm going to say that I might need the ID, of course. This now should be easy for you to remember. This ID. Okay, lab. What else do we need? We need, of course, we need the name. Need the name. So I'll say this name. What else do we need? We also need the email. Those for now are okay. So I'll say this email, and then something else that I can do, maybe I can create a user factory. I think that is there by default. Let us see on the factories. Yeah, we have a user factory here. Next thing that we need to do, of course, is to add the user ID to the product guy. So I'll go inside the database migration, and inside the product, yeah, I'll just add the user ID here. So let's see. All right, let's do this. Let's see this foreign ID, and this should be user underscore ID. And then of course I need to probably I need to migrate fresh again. So I'll say PHP artisan migrate, say fresh here to drop and migrate again the database. All right, so I've dropped and migrated the database again here. So let's see, and then what I can do now is that on the products factory, here on the products factory, on the database, I need to say, let me see, on the products factory, yeah, of course, I need now the ID for the user. So we'll have the user underscore ID here. So here to get the user ID, I can say this, and then I believe I can say in random order. So there is something like that, and then I can get the first. I need to get the user. Let's just try this in random order. First, once I've gotten the first user, I can get the ID like so. So we are good, and then this, of course, need to import that class. So let's go back and then run the user. So I'll do PHP artisan think again. So here I'm going to say, all right, say user factory 10. Also, I'm going to create the products, 30 of them. And now, of course, we have the user and we have the products. And remember now, of course, if we go to the models, the user has a relationship to the product. The user has many products, as we can see down here, and even for the foreign key. So now if I go now to the API, I need maybe to add one route here and see this is for the users. We can just say, and this will go to the user controller like that. What I can say is that now if I go to the user controller, or rather the user resource, I can be able to return now the products here. I'm able to see that for the products, for this particular user, you can just say this, and then the method that we use for relationship is products like that. So let us try, and remember now this product here, we can be able to use a resource method to return this. So I can be able to say new, or like this, I can be able to say new, let me see, product resource like this, and then I can do something like this, I believe. So okay, these are many products, so I believe this should be a collection rather. So I can say collection like this. So I wanted to show you how you can be able to to use this collection or this product resource inside another resource. So if I go now and test let's test our API here. So is it, we go HTTP, create request. I'm going inside, this should be 1000 API, say users like this. And then let me confirm APIs, users, yeah, REST. Let us run this and see. Pull up this. As you can see now from my API, we have some users who have some product whom we have generated random. For example, this first user here doesn't have any product, so it is empty. But for our second users, we have ID, we have the name, we have the email, then we have the product, which has been, formatted the way that we wanted. So that is what I wanted to show you about how you can be able to use a relationship on product resources and be able even to format them using product resources or using resources. So if I scroll down, you can see that also we have this user here who has the product formatted as you can see here like this. So that is how you can be able to format relationship using resources.